Republic of Guyana and leader of the People's National Congress Reform, Brigadier David Granger, has said, and I quote, "Guyana's green development strategy will be developed as a template for the greening of Guyana. Guyana will have a green economy. We will transition our economy rapidly toward renewable, clean, and cheaper sources of energy. We will create green enterprises and jobs, and we will inculcate green education in our schools." End of quote. As the largest mass-based party in Guyana and the largest partner in the coalition, APNU AFC administration, the People's National Congress Reform will lead and show leadership as we work towards achieving the goals of a green Guyana. At this our 19th biennial Congress, over 500 delegates and several hundred observers from all 10 administrative regions of the country, the North American region of our party, and the United Kingdom will be in attendance. Meeting in this our Jubilee year, the PNC recalls with pride that it was our party that entered government as part of a coalition administration in December 1964. It was our party on the 26th May 1966 that embarked on the task of transforming a deeply divided colony into the United Independent State of Guyana. The new state adopted the inspiring motto, and I quote, "One people, one nation, one destiny." It was not an empty slogan to adorn our coat of arms, but an article of faith and an affirmation of our creed. Our party, 50 years ago, made a contract with this nation. We are the heirs and executors of that contract. Congress is a working session. For us, it is not a period of jubilation, but rather 2 days of hard work, where we not only examine the state of the party, but make plans for the economic and social development of the nation. The party leader, Brigadier David Granger's keynote address to the Congress will be presented on the opening day, Friday, 26th August 2016. The welcome and opening remarks will be delivered by the party chairman, Honorable Ambassador Williams MP. The highlight of day 2, Saturday, 27th August, will be the report of the General Secretary, Mr. Oscar Clark, CCH, which will be followed by 2 working sessions. The final day, Sunday, 28th August, delegates will vote for a party leader, chairman, 2 vice chairmen, treasurer, and 15 other members who will become the elected members of the Central Executive Committee of the People's National Congress Reform. Please note that media personnel will only be allowed into the Congress for the opening ceremony at the PNCR headquarters, Congress Place, Sophia. The next 2 days, which are Saturday, 27th August and Sunday, 28th August 2016, media personnel will be allowed to enter the compound at the end of the respective day's session for interviews and other business pertaining to the Congress. This ends our statement at this time.
Mr. Williams, that is Sharon Demarvin. Certainly do say who are some of the persons nominated and for what positions and whether they've accepted?
GS?
At the close of nominations for persons to be nominated, close of nominations, the following persons were nominated for the various positions, and I give you the names in order. The leader of the People's National Congress, Brigadier David Arthur Granger. Chairman of the People's National Congress, Mr. Bassett Williams. Mr. Robert Corbin, Ms. Paula Lawrence, and Ms. Lurleen Nestor. Vice Chairman of the People's National Congress, and there will be 2 vice chairpersons. The persons nominated for the vice chairman are as follows: Paula Lawrence, George Norton, Benny Raymond, Clement Corlett, Joseph Harmon, Aubrey Norton, James Bond, Don Hastings, Christopher Jones, and Winston Felix. 10 persons were nominated. For the post of treasurer, 3 persons were nominated: Ronald Mulcahy, Larry London, Annette Ferguson. Those were the nominees. These nominees were sent the letters as usual to indicate whether they're going to be running or not. And I have not received all the responses yet, but for those that I've received, David Granger has agreed to run as leader. Basil Williams has agreed to run as chairman. Clement Corlett has agreed to run as vice chairman. And Winston Felix has agreed to run as vice chairman. Those are the ones I have received so far. I can't tell you what will happen between now and the 24th. And for the treasurer, Larry London has indicated that he's not interested in running as treasurer. The other 2 have not indicated anything yet. So, but that's the position with the nominees at the close of nominations.
Next question, please. There's a microphone going around. Please use it. Thank you.
I'm seeing a lot of stalwarts here.
Maybe I should add that for the members of the Central Executive Committee, there were 73 nominations. I wouldn't want to read them out to you, but 73.
Go ahead.
I've noted a lot of stalwarts here, the ones that I recognize. But what percentage, or could you say, is like for youth, in terms of youth persons running for posts?
I must admit that I haven't examined the list to see how many women, how many youth, and so on.
Mr. Mike.
So that will be done. But from what you were able to glean from the list I called, you can come to your own conclusions as to how many youth there are.
Marcel Thomas, Starbuck News. Just for a bit of clarity, the candidates, they have up to the 24th to say whether they accept or not?
Yes, it's right down to the last moment. They can indicate. Because you see, we have to prepare.
Mr. Mike.
We have to prepare for balloting. And so the ballot papers have to be prepared before the Congress. So that they must indicate before. So we set the 24th so to give everybody a full chance of responding.
Will be the returning officer.
And incidentally, if a person doesn't respond, that person's name would be on the ballot.
That's Mike, calm down. Mike was on the spot. Stay first.
Any other questions? Somebody, please.
Gordon Mosley, News Source. Mr. Williams, sir, with regards to the strength of the PNC, we have not been hearing much from this party since it went into government as part of the coalition. How is the party doing with regards to its members? Are your members satisfied with the work you've been doing for them as part of the government?
When you said you referring to the party?
Yes, of course.
Yes. Yes, in fact, we've been up and about. As you know, when we entered into government, many of us would have been new to ministries, so we have paid a lot of attention there. But the work of the party has been ongoing, and the Assistant General Secretary, the General Secretary, I as Chairman, and I've been, we've been going out and about. I was in Region 6 last weekend. No, the weekend before, I was in Region 9 a couple of days ago for the last weekend. And we're moving around. Region 3, Essequibo, I spent a weekend there too. So all the members are actually doing what they have to do. But I don't believe that in a coalition of 6 parties, that basically that one would expect that the one party would try to project itself, at the expense of the other members in the coalition. I don't think that we wish to be like that, but we are working. We work with our groups, our districts, our regions, and the party is in its 59th year. We are proposing to hold our 60th anniversary next year with a big celebration, and I think anyone without any contradiction would recognize that a party that has survived for 59 years is not a party that one would expect to just disappear or go into desuetude. It's a great party. This great party of ours, and it will be around for another 50 years. Easy.
But is the party very active as a political party and not just as a government? Because you come to Congress Place on any given day, and it appears as though it's a ghost town. And you talk to many of your members, and they're saying this is your first press conference in over a year on any issue. So how active is this party really, and what can members expect as you move forward after this Congress? Can they expect to see a more active party commenting on national issues that may be of interest to the party or their membership?
Actually, I thought I answered your question yesterday.
But you didn't clearly.
I think I gave you an indication that the party is quite active. We're active all over the country. And I think I did indicate to you that being in a coalition, that it really would be incongruous for us to assert ourselves in contradistinction to the coalition. As a party, we are a party, we doing our business. We know what we have to do. We servicing our members. We don't have any members, as far as I know, who would believe that the party doesn't exist. As I said, that we're all over. The president travels all over the place. Miss Ali goes all over the place. There's, in terms of some activities, and as you would know, because you had in relation to me, you suggested certain things. But when we go, we sometimes go out in both capacities, as we are politicians and we are government ministers, and we are members of parliament. And members of parliament do party work. You do your work. So we don't have any difficulties, we don't have any problems. I know when I say we don't have any problems, we're talking about the way we organize as a party, the way we do our work, the fact that you come to Congress Place, which is a big place, and a lot of the officers are ministers. We have the GS and other staff here. I'm sorry if they're not making a lot of noise, but trust me, the General Secretary and his staff, they're getting a lot of work.
But you're saying, sir, that you do not believe that in a coalition, one member should project itself more than the other. But the PNC is the largest party in that coalition, yet you have the Alliance for Change, which is a smaller party, commenting outside of the government on many national issues, whether it be the city council or issues involving government ministers. So why isn't the PNC doing the same? Or what are your thoughts about what the AFC has been doing?
Well, the AFC, as you know, is a member of the coalition. They're an independent party. What I can tell you, again, we are a mass-based party with tens of thousands of members all over the place, members who are secured within the PNC and are satisfied with the PNC. And as I said, the line is very blurred between you as a minister and as a member of parliament and as a party person. When dealing with any particular issue, when Ms. Ali goes out in a 5P program, she straddles all of that. When I go out to a region and they ask me questions, they ask me questions about the party. In fact, everywhere I've gone, it has been a combination of party community meetings, official meetings. I just came back from Region 9, I went to Lytton, you know, we had a presentation for youth leader, we had Mr. Norton down there, we had a presentation to the young people who did well at the grade 6 examination. We had presentations with a female football team for the police station. And we went up to Anai, there was a competition up there, we were there. We were at Surama, we had meetings there, we had meetings at Arunaputa. And so all these things are rolled into one. I know you said I can't put it on my party website, I should create the Bass Williams MP. But as I said to you, we are working hard. I'm surprised that you were asking that question because somebody said last night that I'm not looking as fresh and rosy as before. The hard work.
Did they indicate when this fresh and rosiness ended?
You took it away.
Could I just add to what Marcelo said? It has to be remembered that every time the leader of the party speaks, you sometimes interpret him only as president, but he's leader of the party as well.
And leader of the coalition, chairman of the
Party,
coalition.
PNC,
Yeah.
leader of the PNC. So that's to be noted.
Yes, Marcel.
My question is, at the last Congress, there was the incident with crowding and security, and that was marred with the firing of a gunshot and the chaos that followed. What assurances can you give delegates at this Congress that there wouldn't be a repeat?
Look, we would all agree that democracy, you know, has its negatives with it, but we are a democratic party. It was unfortunate that our democracy was abused on the last occasion 2 years ago. We can assure you that there won't be a repeat of that because the arrangements that we are making and putting in place, not only security arrangements, but the other administrative arrangements, any, you know, I would say gridlock in terms of admission into the accreditation and registration and the like. Those things we believe we have them under control. The GS could talk more on that. But as I said, you really can't predict what's in a man or woman's mind. You know, anybody could believe that they could make mischief or do what they want to do at any time. And of course, all we have to do is to have to commit to the capacity to deal with any of those challenges when the time arises, if the time arises.
No, I think you answered the question. There's really no, I can add to what you said. The fact that this is, we have made all necessary. I've not had any problems so far in terms of preparations for the Congress, and I don't anticipate any. So I look forward to a very smooth, you know, Congress.
Dennis, you have a question?
I have a question here. Hannah Duncan, HGP Nightly News and Channel 9. I just got two quick questions. Congresses would have been held in the past, and this is the first time in a long time we're noticing that, or I should ask if the excavation works taking place outside, if that is in preparation to the Congress. And the other question is, can persons who are non-supporters of the party look forward to see a clear distinction whereby state resources will not be utilized to in any way with the Congress?
Well, to answer the last question first, I'm surprised a question like that would be raised. But of course, that needs no answer. We don't intermeddle in areas like that. And the party, even in opposition, we've always had grand congresses. We don't expect that it will change now because we're in government. And the other question was that,
The work.
yes.
The works being undertaken outside they're not being undertaken because of Congress. These works were scheduled to be done early in the year, but the Congress has, you know, the imminent holding of the Congress has made us sort of decide we better try and push to get some of the work done. The rain has been falling most of the year, and really the problem has been that, in fact, even as we are trying to do that now, the rain is still falling in August. So, but this work should have been started much earlier, but because of we were waiting for the better weather and better weather, now the weather is not even better, because we started hoping that we will not have this bad weather in August. So we're hoping that we can get a lot of it done before the Congress. But as you could see, some of it is going to remain after the Congress.
I think he was trying to find whether it's party work or government work. That's happening out there, the road and so.
I know it's not state resources.
It's not government work.
It's not government.
It's party work.
So the party is, the party doing better
Party
now.
work.
Well, I thought I just said we've all had, we did what we had to do. We had good conversations. We have, who would clean up for the Congress? You must show them to me. We just generally squeeze it like that.
Dennis.
In addition to what I just said.
Checkwood. Yes, Mr. Clark or Mr. Williams, can you say exactly what is being done out there and how much it will cost? And to your Congress specifically, what is your total active card-bearing membership to date? And to Mr. Williams, what is your analysis of the political situation at the moment? And what is the relationship like with the Alliance for Change? Because, as my colleague earlier said, we see them speaking on matters like the parking meters. You're saying how they will vote. Among other things, what is your assessment of that relationship and overall the political situation in the country?
Okay, let me take the last question first. Now, so you'll take the infrastructure. Let me say that this coalition is alive and well and healthy. That's the first thing I wish to state categorically. It's a coalition, as I said, of 6 parties, 6 independent parties, but they all are coalescing in the interest of the nation. And we're doing that in the form of the government. So it doesn't mean that you have 6 vibrant parties and you expect that it would not be a difference of opinion in any one of them with the general view on the matter. Because that's what democracy is all about. We don't have any robots there. And so any party is entitled to give their opinion on any matter that they believe is relevant in terms of their constituency too. But at the end of the day, we have one view, one opinion in respect of any issue.
I understand that, Mr. Williams, but I'm asking you your analysis of the overall national political environment, not specific to the government, but the country as a whole, PP, PMC, AFC, what is your overall assessment?
It's a very broad question. I was trying to contextualize it, but let me give it a shot. My own view of the, as I said at the begin with, ab initio, that the coalition government is healthy and is on track with its manifesto proposals. We are, in fact, in the process, we've done a year and 3 months. We have, when we started, we inherited a lot of negative things. We were burdened by old debts, all these things. And we are in the process of freeing these albatrosses of the necks of the Guyanese people. We're in the process of restoring the rule of law. The very first thing we did as a party was to restore the independence of those commissions that were stated to be independent, but were not in fact independent, including the Judicial Service Commission, the Public Service Commissions and the like. And we're insisting that this is not like in the past, that institutions must operate with transparency and accountability That's what we are saying, irrespective of whoever they are. And if you're an independent body, you're still subject to the law. You're not above the rule of law. And if you've done an act that is in excess of your jurisdiction, the APNU AFC government will take issue with it. So in this way, the rule of law is in ascendancy, something that it never existed in the last 23 years. People are feeling freer. People could use the media more. They feel they could say what they like. I was in the hinterland. You know, President Granger's focus is removing the division and distinctions between the coast and the hinterland. I could tell you that what I have seen is the new optimism of the people of the hinterland. They are very upbeat about the opportunities in Guyana. They are very upbeat about their communities and the future of themselves and their children. And in some of the meetings that I have attended, I was totally impressed with the confidence that was exuded by the members in those communities that I visited. And I can tell you, I was there maybe a year or so ago down south, up north, and it's a different thing. In fact, in Arunaputa, I see they're erecting a structure to prepare hot meals. They already have the capacity to make peanut butter of an international standard. These communities, Surama, you know, these places are doing fine. I saw a competition between Anai, Ruperti, and Anai Grant, the place value reform, and the standard of skill, I think is comparable to what I see in the city. So we like, things are happening. There's an air and a new mood of optimism. People who were marginalized for the last 22 years, people who were discriminated against in contracts, for example, when we indicate to them that we are going to remove those obstacles to new persons getting contract in this country. Nowhere I have gone that hasn't been received with applause. Because we inherit a system where they're telling you that you have to have 3 years experience before you can get a contract, and that you must have executed a contract over $50 million. So where in the world, with somebody who's been in the doghouse for 20 years, where would they qualify with that experience? And so everywhere you go, people, and of course we explain to them that it might appear to them that the old persons are still getting contracts. And so we would have had to explain to them that a lot of those contracts were rolled over, the system was skewed, and that you had the same evaluators in the system, and that all these things are going to change. And the question of inherited people who are not assisting us, and at every stage they try to see they could undermine you, and you know, if as a result of that action is taken, the Christ comes out of which one? You find the results of a forensic audit, people are definitely, as a lawyer, I could tell them that they're definitely fingered. And you know, some of them still working. But I could have charged them and put them out before, as a lawyer. So I know a criminal act when I see one. We had situations where the last government, when matters have been sent to the Auditor General, the Auditor General, who then sends to me a letter from Ramatar, the former president, saying he had some agreement with Mr. Nadala, the last Attorney General, to spend the ministry's money to buy books. That is not happening under this present administration. Corruption was abject, rampant. People were rapacious. That's not happening now. People in our government don't put their hand in the taxpayers' box, take out the money to spend on the wives and the family. We don't do that. And it's not that kind of happen under our government. So the general political atmosphere in this country is a changed one. because it's the President David Granger and Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu at the end, and the other members of government. We have effected this change. And what we have found, I mean, the opposition, they got to do their work, you know, but you can't get carried away with what they're doing. And as journalists, you have to be careful that you don't get caught up with the propaganda where they obviously had conceived situations that were entirely theirs, and now they're trying to visit us with it, you know, coming to government. So those things you got to be very clear about. And this, I tell you, without any letter hindrance, that we are committed to democracy and inclusivity. We are still open to having talks with the PPP, but they're on a different program. They still believe they could divide the country by race and get back into government. You've seen evidence of that in the campaign for local government elections. You've recently seen evidence on the internet from New York. We are not interested in those things. We have always been inclusive as a PNC party. The branches of our palm tree have always included all the ethnicities and all people of this country. We are the ones that have always strove to have inclusive governance. And we brought those parties to the APNU. And we were able to bring in the AFC into the realm. And we believe that the PPP, they're going to come. They're going to come. And we don't want them to come kicking and screaming. They must come of their own volition. Let us see the benefits of inclusiveness. That's what I would wish to say. And as a lawyer, you should not have given me a question like that. Which we could talk about all day.
Dennis, do you have any more questions?
Mr. Clark was answering.
was asking about.
What was the question? So long ago.
Total active membership and what exactly are the works out there and how much it's costing?
Well, I can't tell you what the total cost of the works are at the present time. I really can't tell you. If I were telling you, but it will cost quite a penny, you know. A lot of it is overdraft. So I can tell you that because I signed the checks. But I really don't know exactly what the total cost would be.
You have an estimate?
I wouldn't want to guesstimate.
But you feel free to make donations.
I wouldn't want to guesstimate. But I want to say this in terms of the membership. Membership of the party has been increasing since we got into government.
And the figure is?
Yes.
What's the figure?
It's over 10,000.
How do you get that exactly?
It's over 10,000. It moved from 6,000 to nearly 10,000 now, or close to it, if not 10,000. So the numbers have been increasing. And that's a good augury. You know, those who think that the party is not functioning, what has happened is membership has increased. What has happened is functionality of the groups have decreased. You see, you got members of the party, members of groups, but the groups don't meet. So you have a lot of people in the party and so on, but the groups don't meet. Now, what has to happen is we have to get the groups meeting, and people complain about the functionality, not so much about the membership.
Yes, you make some groups.
You see, you know, and that's a problem. But for this Congress, for example, over 135 groups have submitted delegates. That means that they meet, you know, but they have more than that, many more. They have about nearly 160 odd groups. So some of them don't meet, you know, but there are lots of members. So we're not worried about the membership. We're worried about the functionality because we'd like to see them function more effectively. And that means we have to do a lot more work in terms of our interaction with them and get the lower rungs of leadership to take on more responsibility.
Mr. Clerk, as you have the microphone as well, what exactly will be discussed, what exactly will be the agenda of the Congress, and will it include greater engagement or more efforts to engage the PEP?
I believe that the opening session to which you were invited, I think you were invited, aren't you? Will give you an indication of whether or not there will be any more opening to the PVP and so on, because that's a function of the leader. The leader, when he speaks in Congress, gives a policy statement on the future of the party as it goes forward.
You think he'll do that?
I believe that this policy statement will give you an indication of what you're asking. I don't know. I just tell you what normally, who would normally be the person speaking on behalf of the party in that regard. Secondly, I would say that the Congress program will have, as usual, on the first day, the feature address of the leader. We'll also have the chairman's welcome and opening remarks. So the main feature of the first day's program is the leader's address. Okay, the keynote address by the leader. That's why not only party members are invited, but generally people from the general public, supporters of the party, business people, they will all be invited to come. They don't have to come, they're invited. And if they do come, they will benefit from whatever, at least at first hand, because this is going to be reported by you. Secondly, on the 2 days, the other 2 days of the statement says, these are going to be closed sessions. The General Secretary's reports on the state of the party and what's going on, within the party organization and so on. That's going to be the address of the General Secretary. He deals with the party. And the rest of that day, we'll be discussing, basically the rest of that day we'll be discussing 2 issues. One, in plenary, the President's address, the General Secretary's report, the Chairman's remarks and so on. The plenary will be discussing matters arising out of those addresses. And then in the afternoon, questions and motions submitted by groups around the country will be dealt with. That's normally what the second day program is going to be. So that all of the questions and motions coming in from groups will be brought up and discussed and dealt with on the second day, after the second day. On the third day, as you heard, basically there will be elections. Come in the morning, register, ensure the elections take place, and thereafter, of course, closing ceremony.
A question.
Let me add something. No, I hope the moment doesn't escape you that this is the first Congress we will be holding in 22 years, where the leader of the People's National Congress will be formed. Is also the president of the Court of the Republic of Cuba. And obviously, when he speaks, it's different from in the past 23 years when we were in opposition, because he's speaking as president and leader of the opposition and chairman of the APNU AFC. And so what will be added really now is government policy will be added to the types of presentations that you would expect to come at this Congress, especially from the keynote address of the...
A question to Ms. Ali. The PP says that they have been trying to engage the PNC through you, but all they've been doing is knocking on the door, no answers. Why?
I am not sure that that is accurate, because I have reached out to the PPP on many occasions, particularly for my ministry, and there has been no positive response, but they have not knocked at the door.
Marcel.
Mr. Williams, this question is for you. You're being challenged here for your chairmanship, for the chairmanship. We have Mr. Robert Corbin, who's been a leader of the party, well received by the party. How do you feel coming up against this challenge, this lineup, more so with Mr. Robert Corbin in the group?
Well, to me, it's a bit tough. If Mr. Corbin is to say he's contesting, it would be Lex Williams. Anything else?
Well, have you been speaking with him to find if he's really running? Because he's just been nominated, but
No, but that's democracy in the party. Any group could nominate anyone they wish to nominate. But of course, the person must be a financial member and go standing.
but are you surprised he has not yet indicated whether or not he wants to?
No, GSM, most of the other challengers are not.
As I indicated, just 1, 2, 3, 4 persons.
But I welcome it. It's healthy. It shows you democracy at work.
But sir, with the amount
What
of
can I do?
but with the amount of work entrusted in you,
Link the members up. But
with the amount of work entrusted in you as the Minister of Legal Affairs and Attorney General, do you think you'll be able to continue on as chairman of the party and do a good job at that while you focus too on legal matters that belong to the state?
that sounds like a loaded question because that's my present position. And are you saying I'm not doing a good job?
I'm asking you if you think you can handle
Even
both.
if I will continue to do a good job.
Do you think? I don't know if you are. But can you juggle both comfortably?
I've been doing it for a year and 3 months. Were you doing it?
But you got 4 more years in government.
But that's what I'm saying. Are you suggesting I'm not doing it well?
We don't know, we were asking you if you think.
Well, I mean, you're in the media.
Well, some party members nominate other
If
people.
you look at the manifesto, for example, you'll see that we're following our manifesto. All the legislation is being passed, all the consultations, the new laws. We've been holding international conferences. We're doing what we have to do.
But party work, do you think you're doing that well?
Why not? I do party work all the time. My party comrades come to me too.
Ladies and gentlemen, 15 minutes, the next 15 minutes will take us to an hour. Could you try to push your questions in that period of time if you have any more?
Officer Ali, the last time you spoke with the GDP, I'm pushing a question.
Please push the question through the microphone, Dennis.
There's no microphone.
Yes,
You have it.
a roving mic.
This microphone is undemocratic. Miss Ali, the
Yeah,
last
turn
time
it
you
on
spoke
too.
with
Put it on.
What were some of the issues that were being discussed?
The major thing that I have been discussing with the PPP is their involvement and their appreciation for social cohesion. Other matters that we discuss really relate to parliamentary matters, which is really discussed with me through the opposition chief with Ms. Gail Teixeira. And like I said, it has to do with parliamentary matters, what we have on the agenda, speakers, the way we will undertake the business and so on of the assembly. But no formal approaches from them. I have made formal approaches for my ministry to them.
Look, let me address this question about the Mr. Roi's statement. I don't believe I'm the worried. But it was in the context of the local government elections when he said they were the equal seats in the 6 local government areas. He said that it could be easily resolved, but they're trying to get to talk to you, and you're not responding. So I think you need to address that to clear it up, because I know what the answer is, and I know the opposite, what has been happening.
Okay. Well, I didn't think that you were talking about local government elections, but through Mr. Shearer again, the leader of the opposition did make an intervention that we need to talk about the areas in question. I think it's 6 areas back then. And we gave them our proposals. When we did so, they did not accept the proposals. After many months passed, after the convening of local government elections, we were again approached I was approached via Mr. Shiro with regards to the local government elections again. I think the matter is now in the court.
Yes,
process.
it's still in the court.
Yes, it's still in the court. And for whatever reason, they approached us to have talks on them. I asked Mr. Shearer to let the leader of the opposition or the PPP per se to document what they would like to discuss, what are their proposals, so that we at our level can discuss the matter. I'm still awaiting that response from them.
Any more